Good afternoon to you. Today we are talking about cache memory. Cache memory is a high-speed memory, very fast, small in capacity compared to other memories. For example, the RAM and maybe the main memory, actually the RAM. So, if we look at cache memory is a faster and high-speed memory. Uh, it is it is smaller and used to store frequently accessed data and instructions. Meanwhile, if you research more of something, maybe on YouTube, on Google, so the phone has cache memory, whereby those most frequently are searched our websites are put closer to access rather than the ones that you don't frequently use. So cache memory is specifically for communication between the CPU, and then when the CPU wants to get something from the main memory, it first contacts the cache memory to see whether the data is in the cache memory. If the data is in the cache memory, then we have what we call a cache hit, and then if the data is not in the cache memory, then a cache miss happens. And then for data to be placed into cache, meaning we have data in the main memory in form of blocks, and then we have data in the cache in form of lines. So since the cache can be of smaller capacity compared to the main memory, not all the blocks in main memory can be mapped into the cache. So there is a way that should enable us to be able to map what is in the main memory into the cache memory, and this is what we call mapping functions. So the mapping functions are, maybe a function is a method used to locate memory address within the cache, as we see here. Then it is used for copying a block from main memory to the cache and used again when trying to retrieve data. So we are going to look at this, how can we retrieve data from the cache? How do they check in the cache? If a cache hit occurs, how do I identify, how do we know that the cache miss is going to occur? We're going to see all this. So in the mapping functions, we have what we call direct, associative, and set associative mappings, as we're going to see further. Here we are seeing them pre-described, but we are going to talk more about them. Let's first go and see. When you have direct, okay, for a fixed location, there's a given block in the cache. So meaning, whenever I want to access data in the cache memory, we check for the cache, we check for a given address in a given cache line for the data that we want. So whenever we're doing mappings, we are going to consider the tag bits which help you to identify which line contains what block of data, as we're going to see. And then we are going to have a look at, for associative method, a main memory block can load into any line of cache, and the cache lines contain tags which must be examined for a match. Then for set associative, it's a hybrid of direct and associative method, whereby the direct and associative methods are being combined to get their advantages while minimizing the disadvantages. Looking at the direct method, if one wants to access data from the cache memory, then we have to check for a given address so that we can identify the data. Then for set associative has what we call sets, whereby a block in main memory can be shared by two lines in the cache memory. So just in case we want to find where that block of data was mapped into the cache memory, then we have to access the two lines in the cache memory, which we call the set. So that set, we either look into, of course, the set may contain like line 1 and line 2. So we look into line 1 and line 2 only. So the set associative method is faster, and it is faster because we can look for a set where the data could be, and then it is faster to retrieve. But in fully associative method, every line every line needs to be checked to see if there is the data that is being looked for. So we said when the cache hit occurs, meaning the data is there and it is found and retrieved back to the main memory. And just in case the cache hit does not occur, and for this extent we can call it the cache miss. And when the cache miss occurs, we need to go to the main memory, fetch the data, bring it back to the CPU. But before taking to the CPU, we need to first store it in the cache memory. And then this takes us to replacement algorithms. There are different algorithms where data can be, maybe data in the cache needs to be changed. So if the cache is full and we want to put in some data, just in case the cache miss occurs, we have 4 replacement algorithms, whereby the first one is least recently used. That one we check for which one has not been used the most. Then first in, first out, of course, to look at the first data that came in, then it's the first that we shall take out of the cache. Then least frequently used, the one that is not being used often by the CPU. Then random is they just take out any data that they want. So We have an example here. If I have numbers 1, 3, 5, 8, and I see the cache memory is full having 3, 4, 5, and 1. So if I'm to put a 1 to the cache memory, we can see that the 1 already, it is there in the cache memory. So when the CPU wants the 1 is accessed easily. When the 3 is wanted, it's already there in line 1, so it is being accessed. When 5 is wanted, 5 is already there in red. But then, just in case of the 8, we want to put in the 8, but the 8 is not in the cache memory. So we go to the main memory, look for the 8, then we have to come and put it in the cache memory before taking it back to the main memory. So the next time the CPU wants it, we can easily access it. So now for this case, we use these algorithms help us to identify where is the 8 going to be put, because now the cache is full. So we look at the methods, we look at least recently used, we look at first in, first out, least frequently used, and most of the CPUs have different methods of dealing with this. So different replacement algorithms are different scenarios, and in this case, at least we can know which data should be removed and which one should be added. And that's the use of this. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.